She came from nowhere. She shocked the world. And now, she's back. Eala is returning to the Miami Open. And this time, she's not a wild card. She's not a qualifier. She's a seeded player, a legitimate threat. And every single top player in this draw should be paying close attention. Welcome back to the channel. I'm breaking down everything you need to know about Eala's return to the tournament that changed her career forever, what her number 32 seeding means, and most importantly, just how far can she go this time around? Let's get into it. So here's the headline. Eala, the Philippine tennis sensation, has officially been seeded 32nd at the 2026 Miami Open. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, okay, 32nd seed, that's fine, nothing extraordinary. But hold on, because when you understand where she was just 1 year ago, that number hits completely differently. 12 months ago, Eala was ranked world number 140. She was grinding through qualifiers. She had no seed, no guaranteed spot in the main draw. She had to earn every single match just to get into the tournament. And what did she do with that chance? Only one of the most iconic runs in Miami. Open history. Let me take you back to the 2025 Miami Open because if you missed it, you missed something special. Eala came in through the qualifiers. She was a wild card entry. Nobody outside the Philippines was putting her name in their brackets. But match by match, she started turning heads. First, she took down Katie Volinets, clean win. Then came Jelena Ostapenko, a former Grand Slam champion, a powerful, aggressive ball striker. Eala handled her. Then Madison Keys, another major winner, dangerous on hard courts. Gone. And then she got a walkover against Paula Badosa in the round of 16, advancing without even needing to play. But the match that the tennis world will remember, the match that put Eala on the global map, was the quarter-final against Iga Świątek, the world number 1, the 5-time Grand Slam champion, the woman who had been dominating women's tennis for years. Eala beat her. Let that sink in. A qualifier, a wild card, ranked number 140 in the world. Beat the best player on the planet at one of the most prestigious tournaments on the WTA calendar. And she wasn't done. She pushed all the way to the semifinals where she faced Jessica Pegula, one of the most consistent players in women's tennis. The match went to 3 sets. It was a battle, 7-6-5, 7-6-3. Eala pushed Pegula to the limit before finally falling in the third. But even in defeat, that run was extraordinary. From qualifier to semi-finalist. From number 140 to a player who'd just beaten the world number 1 on the biggest stage. By the end of that tournament, Eala had rocketed up to world number 75. Her life, her career, had changed in the span of 2 weeks in Miami. Now, fast forward to today, and Eala has not slowed down. She reached a career high of world number 28. Think about that. From 140 to 28, in the span of roughly a year. That kind of trajectory is almost unheard of in modern professional tennis. She's been getting results at the biggest events on tour. At Indian Wells just weeks ago, she made the quarterfinal. Another impressive deep run at a WTA 1000 event. She eventually lost to Linda Noskova 6-2, 6-0, a tough day on court. But the fact that she was even there competing in the final 8 of Indian Wells tells you everything about the level she's operating at right now. And then, in what might be her most headline-grabbing recent result, she beat Coco Gauff. Gauff was forced to retire in the second set, trailing 6-2, 2-0. But let's not undersell it. Eala was winning. She was dominating that match. The scoreline was not flattering to one of the biggest names in women's tennis. This is the version of Eala walking into Miami 2026. Confident, battle-tested, and with a chip on her shoulder to prove that last year was no fluke. Okay, so let's talk about what the number 32 seed actually means for her chances. First, she gets a bye in the first round. In a WTA 1000 event of this size, that is genuinely valuable. It means she walks into the tournament fresher than unseeded players, skips the grinding first match, and enters the round of 64 with more time to prepare and settle into match rhythm. Second, seedings provide draw protection in the early rounds. As a number 32 seed, she avoids the top half of the bracket in the early stages. She won't face the absolute top guns right out of the gate. That gives her a chance to build momentum before the tournament truly opens up. But here's the thing. At Miami Open level, there is no easy match. Every player who makes it this deep is dangerous. Eala will have to be at her best from the very first ball she hits. And based on what we've seen, she's absolutely capable of that. Now let's get into the fun part. Who could Eala potentially meet in the later rounds of this tournament? Iga Świątek is in the draw. And yes, Eala beat her last year. But Swiatek is Swiatek. She bounces back. She's hungry. And if these two meet again in Miami, it would be one of the most anticipated matches on the WTA Tour this year. A rematch with massive narrative weight on both sides. Then there's Aryna Sabalenka, the defending champion in Miami. Sabalenka is arguably the most physically dominant player on tour right now. Power, aggression, experience. She's going to be extremely tough to beat on these hard courts. If Eala wants to win this tournament, she's going to have to go through Sabalenka or someone of that caliber. And of course, Coco Gauff. Yes, Eala just beat her. But Gauff is a former US Open champion, a fierce competitor, and she is absolutely the type of player who comes into the next match against you even more motivated after a loss. Don't sleep on that potential rematch. Here's the reality. Eala is seeded 32nd, but she has beaten players ranked far above her before. She's done it on this exact court. She knows what it feels like to rise to the occasion in Miami. So, prediction time. How far does Eala go at the 2026 Miami Open? Here's my honest take. Last year, she had the element of surprise. Nobody knew what she was capable of. She came in as a wild card with nothing to lose and everything to gain. That psychological freedom, that zero-pressure mindset, was one of her biggest weapons. This year is different. She's seeded. She's expected to perform. Players have studied her game. They're going to come in with a game plan specifically designed to stop her. And that's a completely different kind of pressure. But here's what I also believe. A player who peaks at a career high of world number 28 and grinds her way to Indian Wells quarterfinals is not a flash in the pan. This is a legitimate professional tennis player operating at a top-tier level with the mental toughness to handle high-pressure moments. My prediction, I see Eala making it to the quarterfinals at minimum. If she's hitting the ball the way she has been recently, and if she avoids a brutal early draw, I would not be surprised to see her in the semifinals again. And if she makes it to that semifinal stage, all bets are off. So here's the question I'll leave you with, because I want to hear what you think. Last year was the miracle run. This year, she comes in as a seeded player, with experience with ranking with a target on her back. Is this the year Eala doesn't just make the semifinals of the Miami Open, but wins it? Drop your prediction in the comments. I'm watching every single match and I'll be back with breakdowns as the tournament unfolds. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We cover tennis like nobody else. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more fans find this content. Eala is back in Miami. And I, for one, cannot wait.